Hello everyone and welcome to my Chimera State YouTube channel. In this video I want to share with you the average cost of building a professional home recording studio. Many people and even clients out there assume that it is cheap to produce music and sound design nowadays, and that all it takes is a basic computer. This is simply not the case. A professional home recording studio requires professional hardware and software. If one takes an inventory and adds up everything, a so-called basic setup can quickly become quite expensive. So in this video I want to break down the cost of my personal home recording studio, including setups I've had throughout the years. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to support this channel. I have been producing music for over 20 years and started off owning a Yamaha SY99 synthesizer back in the 90s. The SY99 came with a built-in sequencer that was capable of synchronizing up to 16 tracks and instruments, but the more tracks and instruments I used, the worse the performance became. That is why I kept upgrading my studio over the years up to the point where I am today. And if I would have to build my studio from scratch again, I would purchase exactly the same equipment I am using today. So in this video I want to guide you through my complete setup and give you tips and tricks along the way. Let's get started. The centerpiece of my home recording studio is my Intel-based PC. As I mentioned in the comment section of my previous videos, I ordered it from DAX Audio in Berlin, a company specialized in audio and video workstations. Their support is excellent and they always know which processor and parts of your computer work best together to achieve maximum performance. On their website you can use their PC configurator and choose the upgrades and parts that best fits your need. In my case, I would choose the desktop tower casing again, would opt for the basic system Extreme and choose one of the latest Intel processors since I work with Cubase and Intel processors work more reliably with Cubase according to DAX. As of now I also use an Intel i9-10940X and I'm very satisfied with its performance. Additionally I would go for 64GB of RAM since I use big sample libraries on a regular basis. That brings us to the graphic cards section. If you do video editing, I would highly recommend going for a recent graphics card like the Nvidia RTX 3060 or even higher. If you want to use your DAW only for producing music, a very basic graphics card like the GT 1030 should suffice. As for the main hard drive, I would always go for an M2 PCIe SSD drive. In my case, I chose the 2TB option. Minimum you need one additional hard drive. So let's go for the 4TB SSD option. Since the motherboard supports two M2's PCIe slots, I would definitely opt for a second 2TB empty SSD card. If you use a USB powered audio interface like mine, you would not need an additional Firewire extension card. Next, I would say built-in DVD and CD burners are not necessary anymore, so let's skip that option. In most cases, the internal Ethernet connection should be fast enough, so I do not see any need for an additional network card. When it comes to fans, I would recommend to opt for a quiet kit in order to keep your computer system silent. Especially if you record instruments or vocals, it is very important to keep your recording environment free from unwanted sounds. Microsoft Windows Home 10 is totally fine for music production purposes, and last but not least I would also opt for an external Blu-ray and DVD player and burner, just in case. That brings us to a total amount of 5,361 euros just for the PC. Additionally, we need a keyboard. Since I'm using Cubase 11.5 Pro, I would highly recommend the Logic keyboard for 119 euros and 90 cents. And finally, we also need a monitor. I highly recommend the LG38W N95CW for 1,399 euros. Don't forget to purchase a mouse. I used this Logitech one for 29.99 euros, which I picked up on sale at Amazon. And that brings us to a total amount of 6,909 euros and 89 cents for a state-of-the-art audio workstation and all necessary peripherals. The second most important hardware for a professional home recording studio is, in my opinion, the audio interface. If you have seen my raving review, you already know that I personally use the Arturia AudioFuse Rev 2 that costs 599 euros. Next are the monitor speakers. I highly recommend not to cheap out on speakers because they are your most important equipment to judge your mixes. As you know from my previous reviews on this channel, I purchased the Neumann KH120A and I'm super satisfied with them. The bundle, including the stands, cost 1,329 euros. In addition, I would also definitely purchase the Neumann KH750 DSP subwoofer again, along with the MA1 alignment. By the way, you can find both reviews on this channel. The subwoofer and MA1 alignment system will set you back 1,495 euros if you purchase the bundle. But don't forget to purchase also a mat or POTUS to decouple the subwoofer from your studio floor, like the one I purchased from Harley Benton for 29 euros and 90 cents. That brings us to the next very important home studio item, the MIDI keyboard. Since I'm a heavy user of Native Instruments Komplete, I recommend Komplete Kontrol. Personally, I use the old model S49, but if I could decide again, I would probably go for the S61 model for 799 euros. If you want to record instruments or vocals, you would definitely need a good microphone. I love my Neumann TLM 103 and would highly recommend the set for 1,239 euros. It includes a microphone spider and a case to store it securely. As a microphone stand for podcasting or recording the voiceover for my YouTube videos, I purchased a table mount from Rode for 86 euros. In order to record instruments and vocals, I purchased an additional microphone stand from KLM for 49 euros. Last but not least, you need a pop filter for about 85 euros. In order to connect the speakers and microphone with your audio interface and subwoofer, you would also need additional cables. My microphone cable of choice cost only 4,57 euros. The BNC to RCA cable to connect my audio interface with the subwoofer cost 12,50 euros, and the two cables to connect the Neumann KH120A with the KH750 DSP cost 14,90 euros each. What I would also recommend is to get a good set of headphones. Back then I purchased the AKG Q701 Quincy Jones edition, but those are not available anymore. The AKG K701 costs around 129 euros. But let me know in the comment section below if you have any good headphone recommendations, since I'm on a hunt for new ones. The last thing missing to complete our hardware studio purchase is the furniture. I purchased my chair from IKEA for 99 euros and my desk at an online retailer for around 200 euros. All in all, the total cost of this hardware setup is 13,010 euros and 66 cents. This amount is enough to purchase a brand new car in Europe. Now let's break down the software. When I moved from Germany to Los Angeles, I sold all my hardware synths and samplers and built a software-based music studio. Even now, back in Germany, I keep my studio mostly software-based, because it gives me the flexibility to be able to work from anywhere in the world. Which is what I want to focus on in the next section of this video, the software I use the most and would purchase all over again. Let's start with the most important software, the Digital Audio Workstation. For over a decade, I have been using Cubase. The most recent version is called Cubase 11.5 Pro and costs 581 euros and 99 cents. While I love Cubase for recording and mixing, I definitely recommend purchasing additional software instruments and dedicated plugins for mixing and mastering. The most complete software instrument and sampler suites are, in my opinion, Native Instruments Komplete bundles. I would opt for Native Instruments Komplete 13 Ultimate Collector's Edition for 1,599 euros, because it contains basically everything you need for professional music productions, and the quality of the software instruments and included sample libraries are top notch. If you prefer to produce mostly electronic music though, I would additionally recommend Nexus 3 from ReFX. This world-renowned software synth comes in different bundles, and to start off I would suggest getting the Value 10 bundle that includes the latest 10 expansions for another 499 euros. In addition to software instruments and sample libraries, you will need plugins for mixing and mastering. For mastering, I would recommend iZotope's Music Production Suite 4.1 for 499 euros, and even that iZotope started to promote subscription models, I prefer one-time purchases. In addition to the iZotope Music Production Suite, I would also recommend all Mastering the Mix plugins since they are really great for mixing and mastering. They cost around €269.16. Another plugin I use on all my mixes is called the Sonox Inflator for around about €115. For additional effects and filters, I would also recommend the FabFilter bundle for €859. And last but not least, I love Waves plugins and guess that the Horizon bundle covers most of them for around €330 when on sale. That sums up to a total of €4,752.15 for my basic software bundle picks. Over the years, I honestly spent so much money on additional mixing and mastering plugins and instruments. It's almost an addiction that I'm sure all the sound and music nerds out there can relate to. So if we add up all the hardware and software costs, the total comes to €17,762.81. A lot of money that is difficult to recoup into this music industry, but that's a whole nother topic for another YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you an idea and a rough estimate of what to expect when setting up a professional home recording studio. Of course, there are cheaper options out there, but quality-wise, there's a truism in the saying, you get what you pay for. This is particularly apt when it comes to media production, be it the movie or music industry. Thank you so much for watching this video and hopefully see you next time. I wish you all a great one.